Hello, and welcome to another episode of Film Nobodies with Tyler and Jason. Today we're going to talk about a very classic movie,
Very iconic.
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Of Russell Crowe's crowning achievements,
Yep.
and Joaquin Phoenix as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll walk through that one. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about all kinds of plot points and the ending and all that fun stuff. So tune out if you don't want to see that, but stay tuned
Yes.
in if you want to hear the conversation.
Yes. This is a very important movie for a few reasons. Made in 2000 by Ridley Scott. It's starring Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix. Put them both on the map, pretty much, as far as I know. And Ridley Scott's considered one of his best movies ever made, up there with Alien. And it's a very important movie because it won 4 Oscars. It won Best Picture, and Russell Crowe won Best Lead Actor in 2001. And
he got recognized for costume and design.
Got recognized
and
for
all
a few
kinds
other
of fun
things.
stuff,
Yeah, so very important movie in the film industry. I remember in film school I actually read, I had to read a book on film, and Russell Crowe's character was a big chapter in that book, talking about his character and how it was written and how archetypes should be written. He was used as an example. So very important in a lot of different ways, like I said. But basically, the movie is a big epic based in, around when the Roman Empire was at its height, at its peak, and it follows Maximus, this big general that is like the best warrior in all of Rome. And he, after finally winning the last battle that would lead to Rome's victory, leave Rome's empire victorious, he is now being given the power to bring the Republic back to the people. And when Commodus, Joaquin Phoenix's character, finds out, he kills the Caesar, his father, and kills Maximus's wife and son. And as a result, Maximus is also
he's accused of treason.
Yes, he's accused of treason because he doesn't accept the ruling. He knows that he killed his father, and so he is sentenced to be executed. But he fights his way out because he's the best warrior of all time.
Was he sentenced to be executed or exiled?
Executed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right, and he escapes.
He escapes, he finds his wife and son, and then
he falls into slavery.
Yep, he gets enslaved.
Yeah, people don't realize who he is. Like the slave trade doesn't understand who he is.
He becomes a gladiator, and his ring of gladiators gets moved to the Colosseum, where they fight, the real gladiator events. And he finally is able to confront Commodus, and Commodus, stunned, has to struggle with the fact that he can't kill him because Maximus has won over the crowd of Rome, and so the struggle of winning over the crowd falls into Maximus's favor, and ultimately leads to him being able to slay Commodus in the end, while dying himself. So very big epic. I probably didn't explain it too well, but it's a very
most of you have seen this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have seen this. It's very important.
Yep.
But so I would like to start with talking about the character and story writing. Like you were telling me earlier, it's a typical underdog story. Like he gets thrown at rock bottom and he has to fight his way back up, and he does, but at great conflict. I actually really love Maximus's character and Commodus's character. It's like the big clash between good and evil in one of the biggest empires man has ever known, and it's
right.
The scale is enormous, and I love how it's written like that. Commodus is like this weird, slimy, ambitious dude that you just hate. You just hate him.
And Joaquin Phoenix does a great job.
He does a great job
making you want to hate him, because he's the whole thing, the creepy love
with his
affair
sister.
with his sister and all this weird stuff.
And
Yeah.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is notorious for playing weird dudes.
I'm pretty sure that in Game of Thrones they ripped that off between the Lannisters, with the brother sister thing.
Yeah, a lot of influence.
Yeah.
I mean, Game of Thrones took it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if the books were first, but whatever.
That's true. It could be vice versa.
Yeah,
That's
it could
true.
be, but I would like to think that Gladiator was there first. And so one thing I actually would have liked more about the movie is if they showed Commodus more, because throughout the movie they show obviously Maximus's progression from becoming a gladiator and working his way up to the Colosseum and stuff like that, confronting Commodus. But Commodus, he has certain alone scenes or scenes with his sister or his nephew where he has some interesting dialogue and decisions that he makes that are really, really weird, like we talked about, and it shows how slimy he is. But I don't think they show enough of it because he's kind of just treated as more of like the big bad, like more of a big bad than he should be, because he's, at the end of the day, he's like this scared, inexperienced leader who thinks he's all that and he's like immoral, and he's such a deep fleshed out character, and I would have liked to see more scenes where he gets that character development, but with what we got, I definitely was satisfied because obviously it all worked out for in the end, but yeah, I would have liked to see more of Commodus. But then again, there's a conflict because then you would have gotten less screen time with Maximus, and obviously you need to see his progression. So
yeah, I think the star of the show is Maximus. I mean, he is the gladiator, and it's the title. So I kind of understand why that took on the essence of the movie.
Yeah.
But the counterbalance with Joaquin Phoenix, I think it was done well enough to where you could appreciate the hero for who he is and what he's trying to do and what he has to do, because it's really an underdog story when you boil it away. I mean, he was the top dog, the top general, and he was cast aside by the Caesar, the new Caesar, and he had to build himself back up and find his way back to Rome to crush his enemies. And in doing that, he had to overcome slavery and a million victories in the Colosseum and defeat the most powerful man in the world at that time in history, right? So, and none of this is historically accurate, by the way. This is all just made up fiction, but you get the essence of Rome and Rome and ancient Rome and that kind of stuff in the movie, and they do a really good job, which is another part of the film that I really liked, was just the production value of it.
Yeah.
Talk about immersion. I mean, they really take you into ancient Rome, at least our concept of it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily historically accurate, but we all kind of have this vision of what we think ancient Rome looks like, and that's what it looks like in our heads. And they did a fantastic job. There are some green screen moments, I noticed, but
it's fine.
It's nothing. It's nothing terrible. Most of it, though, there's like really good set design, really good costume, and the attention to detail is there for sure. I really like how they brought that element into it to really be kind of this vehicle for the whole story.
Yeah.
Because the Gladiator Colosseum, if that's not done right, and those visuals aren't done right, then it's not going to feel right. That plot's not really going to hit home the way that I think they would want it to. So I think they did a good job, really kind of tying it all together with the visuals, which is what made it a huge blockbuster, epic movie. I mean, The Gladiator was one of those big box office movies, right? When you go back in movie history, right, there's really good movies that win Oscars and everything, and then there's really big movies, bigger than the sum of their parts. I think of movies like Gladiator or Forrest Gump is another one.
Yep.
These are just big movies that just they kind of carry their own weight.
You don't miss these.
You don't need a sequel. It lives on its own. Although Gladiator had a sequel and it was meh, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is like they're these big epic films that kind of live in their own universe. So and you felt that in the movie. You could tell it was big budget. You could tell it was There was a lot of time spent on writing, and the performances and all that stuff really was spot on. So
Yeah, I was really impressed with the visuals and the set design as well. I mean, a scene that I really like is the very beginning, whenever they're doing that battle with the barbarians, and
yeah, that's a good one.
And it's like a huge battle. It's like snowing, and it's does a really good job of grabbing you from the very first scene, and it makes you like curious about what's going to happen next, because like this guy's like the general, and the king immediately pulls him and starts talking to him about giving him power, and then Commodus is like, oh no, he's going to give me power, and what, he's not going to give me power, and then he kills him, and it's like, oh my god, this is crazy, like right off the bat. And I think it's really well done in that way. And yeah, with the performances, I think that Ridley Scott did a really good job of bringing emotion out of these guys. There's one scene where
Especially Joaquin Phoenix.
yeah, especially Joaquin Phoenix, there's a little bit overacting in my opinion. But with there's one scene where Maximus finally sees his wife and son like hanged up, burned and stuff, and he's got like snot coming out of his nose, and he's like kissing his wife's feet, and the snot's coming off because he's like crying. It's like it's really good. I think it's like the performances are there, So I appreciate that, and
I think the movie's a big movie, and that the acting in it was big too. I do think that some of the scenes, some of the acting was over melodramatic, maybe a little too theatrical. Yeah. But especially on Joaquin Phoenix's part, but it was good. I mean, it was still deep. You know what I mean? It didn't feel fake. It just felt very melodramatic.
Yeah, like theater. Yeah, like a theater play.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of like who's famous for that? Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is
like
famous.
Braveheart
and Lethal Weapon. He's famous for those like just really, really intense, passionate scenes that sometimes are a little over the top. And if you get that vibe in some of these, but it's a big movie. Braveheart is another. That's a big box office movie.
It needed that.
Yeah, so it kind of needs it. But I didn't get that as much from Russell Crowe. I thought Russell Crowe's performances were a little bit more consistent, and all the supporting cast, all the supporting actors did a great job driving the plot and the dialogue between the two main characters throughout the movie. So really, really good performances, I thought, from the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Which it kind of goes unnoticed, but it's important. It's important. If you don't have those other supporting actors to communicate with and drive the plot, it can kind of fall apart. So, especially in big movies like that. So, I think they did a good job bringing that all together.
Yeah, I think with Joaquin Phoenix's acting too, I think, now that I think about it, it kind of adds to his sliminess. Him being so melodramatic, it like adds to him being like a slime ball, like trying to get with his sister. He's like, I love you. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God. It works. God.
Yeah.
And like when he's talking to his father at the beginning, like he's like, Dad, I have looked upon the sun 1,000 times to find ways for you to love me. And it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with this guy? This guy's like insane. And then he kills him, and it's like, okay, yeah, he definitely is insane. Yeah. One thing, though, that I think fell short was I think some of the supporting cast kind of just, like, flew under the radar compared to these big performances, Like some of the other gladiators that are supposed to be important, or some of the soldiers or the senators, they just don't meet up to it, and they kind of, like, get, like, overshadowed, in my opinion. Like, I don't really think about them. When I think about Gladiator, I think of Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix, for the most part. There's some side characters that I think do a really good job, like the sister and the king, and there's like a couple gladiators, and the soldier that's always on his side, Maximus, what I'm talking about? Yeah, like he's like always on his side. Like that guy's cool. But I don't know, some of the other
hidden hero too in there, like the guy that ran the Gladiators. I forget his character's name.
Oh, that guy too. No, that guy's really good.
Yeah. So he ended up being a hero, even though he was the one that brought him in as a gladiator slave. So,
but like the senator who Russell Crowe gives power to right before he dies. It's like, I don't really care about this guy too much. He's just kind of there. He's a good guy. Cool. I'm glad he's getting the power, but like he's not really a notable character.
That was, I think, more just a kind of a plot device. To show how good Russell Crowe's character is. He's truly the hero. So I mean, that's all that really was. That could have been anybody. That could have been like Ronald McDonald, and it would have gotten the message across.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, just some of the characters fly under the radar for me just because the performance is so big and it's so focused on those two. But honestly, that's fine to me. Like that I didn't really care too much because it just meant that Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix got the limelight that they deserved, and those characters got that same limelight. So I'm like fine with it, but it's something that I noticed, Well,
what was the best part in the movie, or the best part of the movie that you thought was what really made it what it was? Was it the writing? Was it the cinematography? Was it the acting? The directing?
That's so hard. Yeah, I mean,
that is a hard one because it brought a lot of that together.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say the writing, because. I mean, without the writing, it just would have been just some just a normal movie. But I don't know. I think
without the writing, you get Gladiator 2.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's just stuff that goes under the radar, But Gladiator shines for a reason, And I think the reason is the writing. Really immerses you into that world. That's what I really love about the movie is. It's not just the big budget production that immerses you. It's the story itself. Like you really want him to win, and you want Commodus to lose.
Yeah, it makes it makes you really want to root for the underdog.
Yeah. So it's like a super testosterone movie. Like like kill him. That guy sucks. He killed his dad, and now he wants to kill your family. Kill him. It's like I love it. It just reached to an inner part of my soul that I really want to see in a movie.
Just your hyper masculine.
Yeah, I hate to say that it's like super masculine, but I mean, in a way, it kind of can be.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So
it's like the Roman version of Braveheart. So,
it kind of is. So. And sometimes you just need a movie like that. Just some big epic, big budget that really immerses you, but it's still good. Like the writing is like it means something.
Yeah, I mean it's got those elements of just being a big distracting movie in terms of like the visuals and everything, but it actually does have substance. It's a good movie. It's well written.
I agree.
It's not a Fast and the Furious movie. Or something like that, where there's a lot of shiny stuff, but there's not really much plot.
Yeah.
So I know I probably just pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, he doesn't like Fast and the Furious. I like the first one. Okay, I'm just gonna say that before anyone texts me.
First one was alright.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen too many. Actually, I think I've only seen the first one. But anyway. I mean, like I said,
So what did you think about between all the scenes of the movie, right? You already mentioned the beginning scene, but I think that it has a really good. I think it really has really good bookends, right? The beginning of the movie starts off really well, really kicks things into motion, big epic battle scene type thing, and then at the end, when he challenges Commodus and Joaquin Phoenix have that, him and Joaquin Phoenix have that little battle in the arena. I thought that was a perfect ending.
Yeah, I think it was perfect.
They really tied it up well, and him going off into that kind of dream state where he's like transitioning into the afterlife or whatever. It was a good ending. Right?
Yeah, I think
sad, but it ended on the right note.
I think it sucked that he died, but I think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Like all he wants to do is be with his wife and kids, and he did the ultimate thing for Rome. He fulfilled his duty finally, and he gets to live for eternity with his wife and kid, and it honestly that's like perfect. Like you said. And Commodus gets the ending he deserves, gets humiliated in front of all these people. He literally, like, before the end fight, he like stabs Maximus to give him an advantage, and he still loses. And it's like humiliating. It's awesome to watch. He's like, give me another sword. No, I'm not gonna do that. You're gonna die here. And it's like, yes, kill him. and then Maximus kills him, like, and watches him die.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's a super masculine testosterone, like, watch the life breathe out of you, you know. And it's like the revenge is sweet.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was. I think they wrapped everything up really well, and honestly, it didn't. The movie did not need a sequel at all. So when they pulled part 2 out of there, was it last year or was it earlier this year?
I think it was last year.
It was last year, yeah. I was kind of surprised, but part 2 is worth watching. It's a decent movie. I know you haven't seen it.
Is Denzel Washington good in that?
Yeah. I don't think it's his best performance ever, but it was okay. Good. It was a to me that was the less well written version of part 1. You know, it's a different story and stuff like that, different characters, same. You know, it's all connected though, and it was okay. It was nothing. It definitely wasn't part 1 by any stretch, but yeah, it was a decent watch.
Okay. Something else I want to mention is I guess the last thing I'll mention is the action and how it's portrayed in this movie. I think it's really well done. It makes Maximus look like a badass. You know, when he's like sometimes. Like one scene in particular is when he's about to get executed and he like headbutts the guy, stands up, and he like grabs the sword and like flips it in his hand while still handcuffed. And then the guy is like pulling it out, but it's cold out. He's like, it freezes up in the cold, and he just slashes his face off, you know? And then another guy's riding away on a horse and he just throws the sword and it sticks him in the back. And it's like so sick. And when he first becomes a gladiator, he's in the arena. And he's like, you know, no one knows he's good yet. And so he's just like taking out these dudes one by one. And it's like super unique with the way he goes around and kills each one of them. And then even when he's in the Colosseum, whenever he's, the chariots are going around, they're like brigaded together and they destroy each chariot. It's so unique with its action scenes. One gripe I have with it is, in the beginning scene, really good, but there's like these like fast action shots where you can't really tell what's going on. You know what I'm talking about in those action movies where they do that and it's like so fast just so that you don't see it that it's fake. Yeah. You know, it's kind of cheap.
They speed up the camera or
like make it blurry or something. And so I mean they do that in the beginning scene, which I don't really like too much, but I still think it's amazing because it doesn't, you know, try to cover up everything. It's just
at least it's
supposed
not
to help.
CGI.
Yeah, it's not CGI. It's all practical, which I like. And then the end scene with Joaquin Phoenix, like see how it goes, and he just destroys him.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
So I think the action is really well done, and it's supposed to be. You know, he's supposed to be a great warrior. Action better be good. You know.
So would you call this Ridley Scott's best movie, or one of like his top?
Yeah. I'd say his best movie. I mean, I haven't seen all of his works, but from what I know, I mean, the only thing that could, you know, possibly beat it is Alien, right? Or Aliens. And I think Gladiator is better. Just because, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for those kinds of stories. Revenge stories really get me. I love a good, simple revenge story. You know, like The Revenant or whatever you call it. What's it called? I don't know. But yeah. Oh, Northman. Yeah. I love that movie. I know a lot of people don't really like that movie too much. But like I said, I'm a sucker for revenge stories. So hits me right where I want. You know.
Fair. Now I know not to get on your bad side.
Yeah, I know, right?
Take revenge.
That's right. So how would you rate the movie?
I would give it an 8.
An 8? Yeah. That's solid.
Yeah. I think it was a really well done movie across the board. I think there's a few things on like overacting and stuff that I was talking about earlier, but I mean, what do I know? He got
an Oscar for it. Yeah.
But just for me watching it, I felt like some of it was a little melodramatic, but still a great movie. And I think that kind of movie calls for some melodramatic performances.
It does.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's a solid movie. You can go back and watch that movie anytime, and you can pick it up anywhere in the because once you've seen it once, because you kind of do have to get the plot under you. It's not one of those plots that is just garbage and you could fly in and out of it.
Yeah.
And you still know what's going on. But once you've seen it, you get it. You know what the gist is, and you can land in that movie when you're flipping through channels and watching TV or something, and you could just settle in. It's a great movie.
Yeah. Would you say it's Ridley Scott's best, or would you say a different one is?
That's tough. It's some of his movies like comparing apples and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I enjoy watching Alien more than I enjoy watching Gladiator.
That's valid.
But that's not saying it's a better movie necessarily.
Yeah,
but that's how
true.
I feel about it.
Yeah, I think Alien is tremendous.
Both 1 and 2.
Yes,
So,
both 1 and 2 are tremendous. I think Gladiator is more my cup of tea. I guess that's what it really comes down to, because they're both masterpieces, to like objectively.
Yeah.
So
there's probably more cheese in Alien.
yeah,
like
that's true.
I feel like
but that was also way older.
it was
too,
way older, but
so.
there's a lot of like kind of cheesy dialogue and moments in that. But the originality of Alien is fantastic. Okay, so we could say that, right? I think we could say that is Alien is a much more original story and character than Gladiator. I don't think Gladiator is necessarily an original story. I mean, it's original in the sense that for that particular story with those particular characters, but the story of Roman gladiators, or the story of an underdog getting revenge on his archenemy, those are not original stories. You know what I mean? That's just kind of a variation on an old formula. Not to take anything away from it.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a formula that's been around for a long time, and that's okay. But Alien was something different and something unique in its time, and to this day is a character in movies that people immediately recognize, and they're still making spin-offs. I mean, they got the whole
Alien Romulus was
Alien
good.
Romulus. We've watched it.
I did like it,
and really enjoyed it. And that's still, I mean, they're still making spin-offs, and in the Alien Predator universe and everything that's coming out of that. So, just a ton of content and material that can come out of that one original story is really cool.
No, that's a very valid point, actually.
Yeah. So that would be my only thing to say is like, of the two, I think those are probably his top two. If not, they're in the top 3, top 4 of his movies. But I think Alien is probably, to me, more enjoyable, and there's like more to appreciate with that because it's so original. But you can't deny the just epicness of Gladiator and how much that movie brings to the table. So, that's just a matter of taste.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'd probably rate it a 9. Originally, I was at an 8 for the longest time, but I think I rewatched it recently, like before we even started the podcast, and I was like, wow, this movie's so well done. Like I love it.
I thought you were about to say this movie sucks.
No. Originally, I watched it and I was like, this is a great movie, But I think I appreciate it more on a second watch and then a third.
Yeah.
So
Gladiator is one of those you kind of pick up more and more as you watch it a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'd probably say it's one of my favorite movies now. It's just so fun to watch, and it's so meaningful. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna sit at a 9 there. But
that's fair. I could see that.
Yeah. I guess that's it for
Gladiator. That's it for Gladiator. So tune in for our next episode.
Yep. The next episode will be one of the next blind challenges video. So stay tuned for that. We appreciate you guys for watching this one. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those different places. And subscribe to our YouTube. And so, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and stay tuned for the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.